Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel, We're the Movie Couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And here's our non-spoiler review for Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man Far From Home is directed by John Watts and stars Tom Holland, Samuel L. Jackson, Zendaya, Jacob Batalon, Jon Favreau, Marisa Tomei, and Jake Gyllenhaal. Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, must face a new threat in a world after the events of Avengers Endgame. Well, it's just safe to say that we were both pretty excited for Spider-Man Far From Home, especially after Homecoming, especially after Avengers Endgame, and we know that this is... Look, by the way, we know this is non-spoiler, but if you haven't seen Endgame, you might as well click out of this video, because that's like a major spoiler in itself. If you haven't seen Endgame, like, don't watch this. Don't watch the movie.
They put tons of spoilers in the trailer where, Tom
Holland had to give a disclaimer.
Like, hey, there's spoilers ahead, so...
With that said, if you haven't seen Avengers, save this video, come back later, because we're going to talk about it, and there's Avengers Endgame spoilers. Anyways, back to our review. Yes, we were both very excited for this one, especially after Endgame, and what, how Peter handles the death of Tony, and everything else. So they pretty much go right back to, this is after the snap, this is after the funeral. Mm-hmm. Peter's trying to kind of, I guess, get back into a routine of being a high school kid, and they go on this overseas field trip with his class. So
this European
Ned is
vacation.
back. Yeah, MJ is back. Flash is back. Flash, not like Flash, because that's a whole different universe. Flash the friend.
Flash Thompson.
Yeah. So, and he faces a new threat, and that is in the trailer. We see are the elementals, and the person fighting the elementals is Mysterio, played by Jake Gyllenhaal. And so while he's in Europe, he meets up with Nick Fury.
Nick Fury kind of recruits him, and he's like, hey, you're kind of the last Avenger around. Everyone else is kind of
doing
off
doing
other things.
Yeah.
So I need a hero. You're being drafted.
And, I felt bad for Peter, because half the time he's kind of like, yes, I have a responsibility. I must do this. And the other half of him is like, I'm a kid also, and I just, like, want to be on a vacation. I just literally fought to save the world. Now I gotta, do it again and fight these elementals? Basically, look, Dustin and I discussed this before we started this review. This movie, if we go into, like, deep discussion, not even a deep discussion, if we would just go further than past than what we saw in the trailer, it becomes kind of a spoiler territory.
Yeah.
So we actually can't divulge too much into it. So in that aspect, we will stop talking about the plot. And so if you've seen the trailers, then that's basically
what we're going to talk about, how we're going to expand on,
yeah,
and all of that fun stuff.
So initial thoughts on the movie.
Well, first of all, it's still very fun. It is a really good Spider-Man movie, and Tom Holland just knocks it out of the park every time. He does an amazing Peter Parker. He does an amazing Spider-Man, and I just love to see the continuation of... I just want to spend more time with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So I was very excited and very happy just to spend more time with him. And all the other characters were just as much fun in the first one as they were in the second one. Zendaya did an amazing job. Her, like, confidence really comes off. You start to learn a little bit more that her confidence is really insecurity. You learn a little bit more about his best friend. Mm-hmm. And I just really liked how they kind of took the next step with these characters. And they also answered a lot of kind of wait a moment kind of questions that was left in Endgames that I don't want to discuss too much because it's a spoiler.
But you can watch our spoiler review on Patreon, because we will definitely do a deep dive into this one. We might have to watch it again before we do a spoiler review, because there's
Well, we have some time.
We will have some time before, but so make sure you check that out. I'll link our Patreon down below. And thank you to all the patrons and the new subscribers. You guys are awesome, and thanks for supporting our channel. I had a lot of fun with this movie. There is a lot to see. There's a lot happening. Tom Holland definitely carries this movie, and he does it amazingly. And to echo Dustin's thoughts, I really enjoyed seeing his friendship with like that playful relationship between him and Ned, that awkward like friendship that he has with MJ, and just like their class and their friendship overall, because these are kids, and they're younger in that age as opposed to like Andrew Garfield, who was a little, and a little
he
bit
was
older. Like he was
older,
like
you're like,
also like cooler Peter Parker.
You're
Where
still in high school? Yeah, right.
right, and where this cast, the kids really do look like kids. So they also do throw a lot of like Endgame Avengers references in there. So that's also like nice to see. And then for the other part, I loved seeing Happy in the movie. I love seeing Aunt May, played by Marisa Tomei. Like, when do I not love her in anything? Nick Fury's great. Maria Hill, Colbie Smolders is great. Jake Gyllenhaal is freaking awesome.
I loved what they did with his character.
With Mysterio. We all know that he's playing Mysterio, and without going to spoilers, but those comic fans out there, you know Mysterio. I've already seen you guys' comments from our trailers, so if you know who he is, then you may or may not have an inkling of how things play out, maybe, in the movie, but without going into like spoiler territory, he is just a really great choice for this character. I really like him.
The new take that they have on this character is actually really interesting, and I really like how they really did a good job on tying his story in with everybody else's. And it's just a really cool kind of reveal that they have that's really fun.
Yeah, and that's what we can say about that, because that's like towing the line of spoilers. So, and we're just being extra careful. So if you guys think we're being a little extremes, I'd rather be a little bit more extreme than actually letting out what someone can perceive as a spoiler. So that's why. Action scenes are great. There's one particular scene with Tom Holland, and Mysterio's also involved in it, and I feel like when you see it, you'll know it. My hands down, my favorite scene out of the entire movie, but overall, all the action sequences are fantastic.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like it kind of, even though like it is a Spider-Man movie, it also felt like we were also watching another MCU/Avenger movie. If that makes sense. And I know it's Sony and all that stuff, but I also know that what I'm saying is the continuity is great. It's fantastic. I don't know why I'm waving a giant piece of stack of paper around in my hand. I just grabbed it before
It's just the fact that we're so excited
about
talking about this, and we can't really say much.
We can't say much, so we're just going to go ahead and dive into our rating. I will say this before we give our rating, is that there are 2 post-credit scenes, so make sure you stay behind for them, because
all the way
one
to the
of
end.
them you're going to really, really like. I know I geeked out.
Both of them you'll really, really like.
One of them I like more than the other.
Yeah.
One of them is kind of like, whoa, cool, and the other one's like, okay, cool. So, let's go ahead and give our rating.
Oh, you go first.
Oh, me? Well, It is going to be a catch it opening night. I definitely want to see this again. There's a lot to see, and I feel like I want to like sit further back. We sat a little closer up because I made sure we got the seats where like nobody who's tall in front, if they're tall and they sit in front of me, like half the screen's covered, because I'm short.
Yeah.
That's a problem, a constant problem. So for tonight's screening, we chose the seat where nobody was going to be able to sit in front of me. But I think for the next one, I might just go a little bit further back, because there is a lot of movements on the screen for these action pieces, and I feel like I may have missed some Easter eggs or whatever, and I really want to sit a little bit further back to kind of get a wider view of the movie. But definitely catch it opening night, especially since a lot of people will consider most of this movie a spoiler, and you'll know what we mean once you see it. I think the sooner you see it, the better. So join in the crowd. Go enjoy it. The audience loved it. It's funny. It has heart. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry. It's great.
I want to go with catch it opening night as well. I thought this was really fun. It continues the story, and I just really love spending time with these characters again. And it was an enjoyable time to spend with them. You know, there are some times where it kind of feels like, in some movies, that it's kind of like, oh, we have these characters that you love, and it just feels kind of dragged out. But not with Spider-Man. They did a great job with all of the characters, bringing them together, and I just loved spending time with them.
Yeah, So much fun. So you guys, that's it for this non-spoiler review. Sorry for the vagueness, but we hope that you will check this out when it comes out on, I think, July 2nd or 3rd.
July 2nd.
And that's it. Be sure to check back to our Patreon for a full-on spoiler review where we can actually talk freely about the film. But our rating won't change in that one. We'll probably go see it a couple more times in theaters because that's how much we liked it. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next review. Bye!